All right. Welcome, everyone, to Hemp Your Health. I'm Christy Thiel, Director of Education at CBC System and your host. Hemp Your Health is a show about health, healing, and prevention, and we bring on experts that share their wisdom, intelligence, and experience for the betterment of humans, animals, plants, and the planet. And today's guest is no exception. And the intention of this show is going to be everything that he's sharing with you. It's the ultimate reminder that our pharmacy should come from nature and that nature provides everything we need. Nature from plants, nature for the environment, our own internal nature. When we create this cell resonance in this cohesiveness with nature inside and out, you will be profoundly moved by what we can reset and heal and recover from. So Michael Fertucci is not only a dear friend and someone I consistently learn from, he is also the founder and head formulator of Green Spectrums, a CBD and hemp CGMP manufacturing company located in Hopewell, New Jersey. After graduating from the Culinary Institute of America and degrees in both food and baking science, Michael spent 12 years at elite hotels across America, and his career culminated at the Plaza Hotel in Manhattan. Sorry, I'm like all messed up now. As a cake decorator, I just want to get to what you're doing now, but this is so important. The build-up, right? All right, so Christy. You're welcome.
You're amazing.
You're amazing. All right,
thank you. And hello, everybody. How are you all doing? Thank you for having me on the show. I really appreciate it. Christy is such a dear friend of mine. I've known her for quite some time in the whole hemp and cannabis industry. We've been working together for many years. Thank you again for this great introduction.
I really
certified chef, certified pastry chef. I've also just finished up getting my skincare cosmetic formulation degree as well. I do own a CGMP hemp manufacturing company in New York. So, you know, I've been traveling around the country for over 12 years as an executive pastry chef, executive chef. Just give you a little more background on how I got here is, you know, I moved back to New York, got married, and decided to open up my own business as an ice cream man. We have ice cream that dates back, you know, to the early 1900s that my grandfather was an ice cream man who came over from Italy. And I've been using his same recipe, you know, for the last 10 years of my ice cream business. So, and in that time, you know, CBD finally comes to light in 2019 or 18?
Probably before the Farm Bill.
Before the Farm Bill, yeah. And I am a real enthusiast over cannabis and hemp. So as soon as that all started, you know, my first thing was, let me try to find some CBD and work it into my ice cream. So that's when I met Christy. She helped me along the way to finding the best CBD source out there and getting my first kilo of isolate. So when I got the kilo isolate, you know, I was really excited to start working and understanding, you know, the compounds and how it works with the body. So the first thing what I do is I infused it into ice cream. I was one of the first people in the Hudson Valley, New York, who actually infused CBD into ice cream. And serving ice cream out of my gourmet ice cream truck. You know, and as that year went by, my brother-in-law brings me to my brother-in-law who, poor guy, he's got 4 back fusions. He's got 3 neck fusions. He's really hurt. You know, go down his neighborhood, and here I come, his kids would come out, and I told him, I said, here, why don't we try this CBD ice cream that I made? You know, CBD is supposed to help with inflammation and anxiety and all kinds of great things. So he started eating the ice cream and trying it out. And, you know, after a while, I started calling me to come over more and more for the ice
Wow.
cream. It was kind of really, really weird. And he goes, man, he goes, I don't know, whatever's in that ice cream really helping me out a lot. And, you know, it boggled my mind, you know, to see that the CBD, you know, is helping him using less opiates. He was on 60 milligrams of Oxycontin twice a day. So, you know, I was going to his house more than twice a day with the ice cream. And while I was leaving him gallons of ice cream. But yeah, we seen that he was able to cut back on his Oxycontin that he was taking because he felt like he didn't need to take it anymore when he was eating this ice cream. So, you know, I started developing more of a concentrate and getting into tinctures, and I started learning about tinctures, and I started getting involved in different hemp associations and really studying the plant and getting more in tuned with what Mother Nature gave us, you know, to work with.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
so yeah, and I developed my first tincture, and my brother-in-law, we were able to help him, you know, wean off of, you know, the opiates and give him a totally different life. And to see him, you know, play with his kids again, it was really heart to the heart. And I'm sorry, but I get a little emotional.
Oh, it's
You
totally
know,
emotional. And healing, that's profound healing from ice cream. So obviously that is incredibly inspiring. Did it inspire you to pursue other avenues of how opiate CBD could help opiate addicts in recovery?
it did. So my mother remarried and moved down to Florida and opened up a rehab center with her new husband. And they got a rehab center. So after detox, they go into her rehab center and they spend anywhere from 30 to 60 days in her rehab center, coming off of, you know, the drugs that they put them on in the detox center. So since I had an opportunity, you know, to work one-on-one, you know, with a rehab center now, I wanted to, you know, test out the waters and see, you know, how CBD works with these rehab centers. So after I started making tinctures, being though, you know, that I'm a chef, I decided to come out with a pill. And in this pill, I wanted to keep things raw. We have the hemp we put in there. We put turmeric in there, which is, you know, also great for anxiety and inflammation, you know, depression. We also put in there broccoli and kale, you know, some really super foods, you know, to put back the vitamins and nutrients into their systems that got such ripped apart why, you know, they were on all these opiates and other things, not just opiates and whatever else they were addicted to, you know, because
Right.
addiction could be quite a few different things, right? It doesn't just have to be opiates.
Right.
So what we did we got into brain mapping. Um, and because we really wanted to see how the product was working with your brain. um, so I don't know if you know too much about brain mapping, but brain mapping is where they take, it looks like a helmet, and they put this helmet on your head, and it's got all these little lights and connectors, and what it's doing, it's actually reading your brain waves, you know, at different hertz levels, you know, to see your function of your brain. And we've noticed, you know, with the products that we were making, you know, with the CBDA, as opposed to CBD, you know, we were getting these results that were mind blowing. You know, we were getting 30%, you know, better results by using the CBDA in it.
So when you say results, like they were coming off of the opiates. They were recovering from the drugs that helped them get off the opiates. They were kind of like resetting their brain so they could function without all the inflammation, the PTSD. What kind of results were they getting?
So we were showing that the brain was being more relaxed during certain tests that they do and questions that they ask, because while they're doing it, they're asked a bunch of different questions to read the different levels of the brain. And we were finding that, you know, the hemp and turmeric and the CBD pills that they were taking was making them more relaxed and putting them in more of a calm state of mind, which in excuse me. So it was relaxing them, you know, a little easier to understand what was going on, and, you know, to keep in their focus groups. So, you know, that was a big win for us to see them being more focused and more attentive to what was going on, and, you know, how they were going about their daily life.
I personally, I am a huge fan of this product. Do you have a bottle that you could show? I'm consistently on his product, this CBDA. It's so good, and science shows Meshulam, Dr. Raphael Meshulam, has reported that CBDA has wake promoting benefits by around 50% compared to CBD. So we might think that wakefulness might also be like anxiety ridden, but when you're awake and you can have that cohesiveness in your brain instead of that excessive noise that's going on, that translates into the gut. And in the gut, CBDA has 100-fold greater affinity for the 5-HT1 receptor, which is a serotonin receptor. So you know how we were talking about creating that cell resonance, that mind-body connection? CBDA is profound for this. Plus, all those strong anti-inflammatories and neuroprotective properties from the turmeric and the microgreens and the organic broccoli. This is a superfood, guys, and it's really good. And
Happy days.
It's happy days. So, and you have the brain mapping to quantify all this, which is really important because some people just won't take anecdotal evidence. They really need some data. And to me,
So what we do is we brain map before, right after they come out of detox. We do a full questionnaire and brain map them before, and then 3 weeks later we brain map them again so that we can see the differences between the results.
Yes. By the way, there's quite a few comments coming in that people really want to try the CBD ice cream. Do you still sell that? Do you ship that?
I don't, not yet. We are looking to put it into production again. You know, that was you know, now that we are able to, I guess, into, you know, putting it into production again. But thank you.
Oh my gosh. I know we could talk a lot about the CBDA because it's really profound, and I encourage everyone to try this product because it really does take some raw hemp. Is really like, you know, it's before it's decarboxylized, it's before it's heated. It's just the plant, and there's so many benefits to it. But you do so much more than just CBDA and work in these recovery centers. You are, in my mind, a master formulator when it comes to terpenes. And I've learned so much because I'm always drawn to what you're doing and how you're pushing the expression of CBD with terpenes. So I have a question for you. You use a lot of terpenes. First of all, what are terpenes? How do you use them? And what can you share about your formulas and the way that the end result for them?
Sure. Yeah. So the terpenes are a natural compound that's found in flowers and buds, and whether it's coming from the cannabis plant or just botanical terpenes, everything has a terpene in it, right? The flavor, the smell, the taste, you know, gives you that euphoric feeling. I smell a rose and wow, it smells amazing, right? Or you smell a perfume and it really, radiates your senses. Those are your terpenes and your flavonoids and of the plant, right? So, with CBD, and it goes through extraction, and everything gets ripped apart, right? It gets torn into shreds. We put the terpenes over here, we put the cannabinoids over here, we put the waxes over there, and we really, now we even get into, we're going to break out the CBD to the CBDA to the CBN to the CBG, and we're just going to break this plant apart and we're going to shred it, right? So, by working with the terpenes, we're going to put it all back in. As a chef and a pastry chef, in order for me to make a cake, I put all the ingredients back in, otherwise I just have flour.
Yes.
So what we do is we put it back in. Every terpene DNA, or I should say every strain of the cannabis plant, whether it's Z Skittles or Super Lemon Haze or it's Gorilla Glue #4, of the cannabis plant, those terpenes will give us a specific feeling, right? It'll either make us happy, it'll make us tired, it'll make us have creative thoughts, it'll keep us focused. So the terpenes do play a huge role, in how we're feeling, right? We have the CBD that's helping us with the inflammation and anxiety. Now we want to have a little more euphoric feeling, right? Who doesn't like a little euphoric feeling? We drink a beer, we feel happy, right? We drink some alcohol, it makes us feel happy. So when we're taking our CBD products, we add them back in the terpenes. Now we can get that happy feeling on top of the inflammation, getting rid of inflammation.
Yes. Yes.
What we're trying to do here is we're trying to put everything back together again. Poor Humpty Dumpty, he fell and cracked, he's all over the place now, right? Somebody's got to start putting them back together again, so that it'll work for specific things that we're looking for, right? Well, I take my CBD in the morning, but I'm still a little sluggish, and I got to drink 4 cups of coffee, and well, maybe drink 1 cup of coffee and have some CBD with some terpenes that are uplifting and focused throughout the day, so maybe you don't have to have 6 cups of coffee anymore,
Yeah. In fact, you probably don't need 6 cups of coffee. 6 cups of coffee. What are some of those mood elevating terpenes that you like?
So I like using blends. I definitely like using blends, like Super Lemon Haze is one of my favorite ones. Z Skittles, Indigas. So just like in the cannabis plant, we have indigas and sativas and hybrids, right? So we can do the same for our CBD products. So we can turn our CBD product into more of a sativa or more of an indica by adding back those terpenes to the plant, give you those euphoric feelings throughout the day of being happy. Or say you worked a long day and you want that extra just to come down and just relax a little bit. And your mind's racing a mile a minute because you had a million meetings today. Right. And and cartoons are just not doing it for you. Sometimes cartoons at the end of the night does it for some people. We can get rid of all that stress and anxiety by cartoons, but today we need a little more than cartoons.
Yeah, like that calm, that resonance.
So in putting back in those terpenes really will give you those feelings of calm, relaxed. Some terpenes will give you even giggly feelings. They'll make you want to giggle when you take them. So, to me, I love terpenes. To me, terpenes are like the salt and pepper of the dish.
Yes, they make the dish express itself. Broccoli, for example, tastes so much better with salt and pepper than without it. Still good. You're still going to get the benefits, but the flavor, the expression is going to be experienced with the terpenes. So are terpenes the same thing? I know I've asked people this before, but just for our new listeners, are terpenes the same thing as essential oils?
They're close. They're very, very close. I call them the essential oils of the cannabis plant.
Yes. Yes. So people can't just you really have to know what you're doing with these formulations, because CBD has its own expression in the body. And then as a master formulator, you know whether this is going to be a mood elevating or sedative or relaxing or boost the immune system, things like this. It's not something you just want to go and experiment with your own essential oils. So I just want to make sure that's clear. Like, he knows what he's doing. And these formulas, I've tried almost, I think, all your formulas, and it's true, they work differently, and it's because the terpenes are driving that expression and helping the cannabinoids really kind of be more expressive in certain areas. So speaking of cannabinoids, you are also my go-to for learning about minor cannabinoids and things like CBG and CBC and CBN and Delta-8 and all these things. What are some of the formulas and minor cannabinoids? What are they doing? What are they? Let's just start with the basics.
Sure. So we've created an FS 3000 line, and well, not line, and this bottle here. This is, I call it the fullest of full spectrums. There's so many things out there. There's crude oil, there's isolates, and we can go down the line: CBD isolate, CBG isolate, CBN isolate. We have distillates from, broad spectrum distillates to full spectrum distillates. And we have Delta-8 THC, and Delta-9 THC. So, and they're all, now everything is all split apart. And what I did was with this is we put everything back together again. This is the Humpty of all of them.
Yes.
So just in this bottle alone, right, on a full ml, you're looking at 69 milligrams of CBD, 35 milligrams of CBC. I'm sorry, 35 milligrams of CBG, and CBN, we did 7.5 milligrams of CBN. CBC, which is a really unique cannabinoid that we've been noticing with people who have depression, and showing signs of helping people like that. We're still in beta testing with a couple of CBC stuff, but I really like where we're going with CBC too. Delta-8 THC, which is another great cannabinoid, and then D9, Delta-9. So we've taken crude oil, we've taken isolates, we've taken distillates, and we put everything back into the bottle.
This is amazing. I've got two questions for you from our audience. Will is asking, how do terpenes work in the body? Are they interacting with the endocannabinoid system or another system? I've heard many perspectives on this. Curious to hear yours.
That's a great question. How are they working on the body with the cannabinoid and with the endocannabinoid system? That is a great question, and I'm still learning, a lot about how they're actually functioning with the body, and where they're actually connecting. So we're still tracing all that out.
There's a ton to learn about this, and we've made leaps and bounds so far just understanding the ECS. I'm always confused too, like, because beta caryophyllene from the pepper is considered both a cannabinoid and a terpene, because that one does attach as works on the CB2 receptor. And I think it's important for us to remember that the olfactory system, where your nose and your scent and this part of the brain is loaded with endocannabinoid receptors. So even though I can't explain the science, the fact that we have so many endocannabinoid receptors in our olfactory, in this sense, is directly connected to so many memories that when we smell something, that triggers a lot of the parts of the brain that are very much connected to the ECS. So I didn't answer your question, Will, but we're going to have Michael on, and I bet next time he comes on, he's going to have a download for us around this.
I will, definitely.
And Shane, our president, wants to know about Delta-8. He says, would be great to hear Michael's perspective on Delta-8. I'm so confused. Delta-8, it's everywhere. What the heck? Where does it come from? How does it work? What does it feel like? I do love this product. But Delta-8 is something that sort of a lot of people are talking about, but I don't know if we're all on the same page around it.
So yeah, Delta-8 is one of the newest deltas that are out there, and agreed, it's coming in like a storm, and it's legal in certain states and it's illegal in other states. It has very similar properties, I want to say, to Delta-9, but you're not getting any head high from it. You're getting more body relief from it. The people that are coming in and we've beta tested our FS3000 with has had more luck with it, with body pain more than anything. It's just been a really nice product to work with, and helping those people as well, as we continue to beta test the product along. We don't do any smokables, so we only do ingestibles. So the oil would be the only place that you can get the Delta-8 with us. And we definitely see a lot of great feedback from our clients who's been beta testing this product with us. So I'm really happy on how it's been going.
Wow. You have CBN in this product. What is CBN?
CBN, they're calling it the melatonin of cannabinoids. We found out that 10 milligrams of CBN really starts to knock you out. We created a sleep aid with CBN, and we also use blueberry indica terpenes in it as well. But we found out that the 10 milligrams, people are getting amazing sleep over it. And the terpenes are really just helping you just have that little relaxation before you're going into your sleep. To get that little extra relaxation will help us fall into our REM a whole lot faster and keep us in there, where our most important sleep is.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think I've shared this with you, Michael. So I really like this product. So I'm always, as you all know, if you haven't heard me say this before, huge advocate for experimenting, especially when this plant is so safe, so versatile. It's really hard to find anything bad about it. And I took 100 milligrams of this one night before I went to bed. And I did have trouble waking up the next day, but it was such a good, solid sleep. And if I hadn't had to let my alarm wake me up, I probably would have just woken up naturally, just really restored. And it's that that complete spectrum that you were talking about when you have, a bigger amount of these minor cannabinoids. What you mentioned briefly on CBC and depression, that could be something that's really comes up quickly, like the Delta-8 in the near future. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, well, so we've been finding crude oils that have really high CBC in it, and we've been beta testing right now down at the rehab center, just something that I can get a high milligram of CBC out of it. Because from researching that I've been looking at, it's supposed to really help with depression. And to me, I feel like depression is the start of everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Going down that road, that dark, gloomy road. So if we can, start attacking, depression, we give people smiles on their faces and a happier day throughout their day.
Absolutely.
And hopefully it won't lead to other things. So right now we literally have things in beta testing right now. We search out for the best crude and cleanest crude oil that has the highest CBC, because that's real. I'm only finding CBC right now is really in crude oil. I mean, I don't want to rip it apart and just do an isolate. I like keeping it as a whole plant. And I just been finding, a lot better results going back to the whole plant.
Man, and depression comes from stress. So whether we were talking about this earlier, whether it's depression or anxiety, these are imbalances in our brain, in our neurochemistry, in our gut-brain connection, and they're inflammatory conditions too. And so anything we can do to help people elevate their mood, quiet that mind, whether it's running off, falling down into the ditch, or it's just so manic. These cannabinoids, remember, you have more cannabinoid receptors in your brain than you do for all the neurotransmitters combined. This system is so important, and all it's doing is helping your brain and your body and your hormones and your nervous system and your heart connect and crosstalk so that we're not manic, we're not depressive, we're not bottomed out. We can, I don't always have clear thoughts, but it's gotten a lot better. Prior to hemp, I was so anxious and depressed, and I didn't even know how anxious and depressed I was until I started taking CBD, and I had something to objectify, to compare it to. It's so important that you guys, no one's scared of this. And I don't know if I told you I was going to ask you this, but someone mentioned to me recently that I'm just curious, what's the highest amount of CBD that you've taken at one time, Michael?
2,000 milligrams.
2,000.
2,000. I got very, very tired throughout the day, because we were just testing CBD product after CBD product after CBD product. And, we wanted to see how much we can take by the end of the day. And it was 2,000 milligrams total. And I would never do that again. I was so tired. I went to bed at 2:30 in the afternoon until about 9 o'clock at night. It was an exhausting morning on CBD testing that day.
Oh my gosh. Did you feel okay the next day? That's a lot. Did you feel okay the next day? I
felt great. I felt totally fine. There was no hangovers, no nothing. I felt totally great, and I felt really, really good. But I really don't recommend it to anybody.
So that is a very high amount. My point with this is that's really high, and nothing bad happened. He got tired, and when we go to sleep, that's when our body repairs and rebuilds and recharges, and our hormones start to charge up and circulate and that sort of thing. So if you're just not feeling CBD, like people hear, oh, I have, so much better, more resilience to my fight and flight response, or I'm sleeping better, or it's nudging my pain, it's analgesic, etc. But you're not having those experiences, do absolutely try to nudge your way up. The most I've ever taken, I think, is 300 milligrams a day. So I'm not like this wild experimenter, but to me, before I knew that number, the highest I heard someone taking was 600 milligrams consistently. And he has severe Lyme's disease and highly educated. He's in your neck of the woods. I want to introduce you guys. But yeah, anyways,
we know that everybody who takes CBD has a different dose, right? Everybody is a little bit different, especially if you're a cannabis smoker. If you're a cannabis smoker, you're going to need more, you're going to use more CBD that I've seen, as opposed to a non-cannabis smoker. So, everybody's different. Everybody's body metabolizes a little differently. Like you have people that can drink one beer and they're smashed. You have another person that'll drink 2 cases of beer and they're like, okay, I'm ready for another one.
It's true. That's really a good point to really express. listen to your systems, listen to your body language, right? It's communicating to you. More is not better, but if you're not getting those results, you might need some omega-3s. You might need to experiment with different minor cannabinoids, maybe raw hemp, maybe a higher serving size, etc. Before we end, I want to talk about a treat, yes, that I am now have to compete with my dogs for.
These are our newest treat. We just me and my wife just got our first puppy dog. Our kid's been dying to have one, so we got a German Shepherd. So me being a chef, I don't want to feed my dog anything that I won't eat. So I make my dog dinner now. I make my dogs treats, and this product right here is an all natural dog treat. They're 12 milligrams per dose, and they're filled with yams and chickpeas and coconuts. I mean, it's really, really healthy. There's no preservatives. It's a preservative-free product. We use freeze-dried technology to preserve them, and they're really, really delicious.
They're really good. The other day we were on the phone, we were on a Zoom together, and you kept asking me if I had tried these or not, and I was like, no. And so you said, please try them. Now, my dogs hate when I do this because these are so good. They're really, really good.
These are human safe. Mm-hmm.
It's freeze-dried technology, so you're getting concentrated nutrients with the CBD. So perfect for your pet and perfect for the human body too.
It dissolves automatically into your mouth. So if your dog is having a problem, taking any pills or trying to swallow anything, the treat literally dissolves instantly into your mouth. So the dog has the dog won't be able to spit the treat out. So it'll dissolve immediately. And you don't have to fight your dog and put it into a hot dog or something or a meatball to feed your dog. I mean, how many times have we stuck in the pills for our dogs into hot dogs and meatballs and just so they would eat the vitamin?
Yes, there's no doubt your dogs will eat this, even the pickiest ones. So, and they can split it in half. They can crumble it up. They can do whatever they want with this because it's food. It's food. There's no synthetics. There's nothing in there that's going to hurt your animal. So sprinkle it on, give it to them as a treat. My dogs love them so much. And on their heavy exercise days, that pop, they're trained for it now. Oh,
my kids
gosh.
Play around with the empty bottles. They're like, Dad.
So any closing thoughts on, I know we could go on forever and ever. Closing thoughts on what you think hemp is healing the most in people with?
Well, that's a big one. I think hemp is healing a lot. I really couldn't pinpoint, one or two specific things that hemp is really healing. I feel like hemp is healing everything. I feel like hemp is really bringing our body back to an harmonic balance, which we've been missing, because we take a little of this and a little of that. I think hemp is another superfood, and all the different ways that we can utilize it, from raw hemp to, turning it into CBD products, from pills to treats. There's, depending on what you're looking to utilize it for, is a big thing. Figure out why you want to use hemp and what it could be good for yourself, and I mean, that's how, I look at it, because it's such an amazing super plant. Not only is it good for us, it's good for the earth too. It cleansed the earth,
Yes, yes. And we didn't even touch on skin, but keep in mind that your skin is also your largest organ and it can use this food too. So whether it's internal, you have topicals, whether it's topical, whether it's for the plants, the planet, our pets, really this is like you said, this is an essential nutrient, and it's working on a huge system that is creating that communication so that we can be more in balance and the mind's not like this or like, and you get that connection because we don't work well in isolation. And we don't work well when we're using drugs that just push in one direction and isolate a receptor or isolate an organ, etc. Everything has to start to connect. We're nature, and nature is part of us. We're a part of nature. And you know, these synthetics that you were talking about and the opiates, they have their place. And you know, certainly pharmaceuticals can be used temporarily, but there's not a single pharmaceutical that was ever meant to be used long term. The body's meant to course correct, and that happens when there's resonance and connection and communication. And that system that supports all that is the endocannabinoid system. And your products and high quality products really do bring that connection and that communication to the body and the mind and the gut and the heart and the hormones. So you all know that I could go off on this. Michael, you are such a joy. Thank you.
Thank you, Christy. It was a pleasure. It was a pleasure being here with you guys. And thank you, everybody. It was nice talking to all of you.
If they want to get a hold of you, what contact information can I put in the notes or the comments? How do people get a hold
greenspectrums.com, info@greenspectrums. I'll send you a coupon link as well.
Oh,
for you guys too.
Oh, that is awesome. Thank you. And I want to hear from your feedback, everyone that's listening, what products you like, and give a big shout out to Green Spectrums. Michael is a mover and a formulator and on the front lines of how hemp is helping our bodies. Just a reminder, please follow us on LinkedIn. We're always pushing out educational material. We're looking for human resources to work with to support mental health. And we really believe that all these products can help us communicate internally and in the outer community. And so thank you all for listening. Michael, thank you for being here.
Thank you, Christy. It was a pleasure.
Go hemp your health. Have a great day. We will see you next week. Bye for now.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.